You can take it. Are you ready? Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you could please find your seats, we'd like to start our brief ceremony. Good evening. If you could find your seats. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to ask you to please rise. Face the flag. Chief Spey, will you please lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing and join all of us in a moment of silence as we honor our veterans, our first responders, and our active military. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to welcome up to the dais the President of the Mineola Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Ross Levine.
Good evening, everybody. First, thank you, everyone, for being here. Going to go off script, which I hate doing. But I will say thank you to the village. Thank you to the chamber. This is yet another thing that I don't think people realize if you're not in Mineola. I've actually asked 3 other villages or towns if they do anything like this, and they look at me like I'm talking another language. They're like, what? This is just another thing that is special about this village. We're very proud as a chamber to be a part of it. We're very thankful that the village allows us to work with them to make this happen, and it's well deserved. The recipients deserve it. I think it's a great thing, and thank you for being here tonight. Now I'm going to talk quickly about the award, and then I'm going to talk quickly about the recipient, and then we will bring up the mayor, who will talk next. In case anyone doesn't know, the John S. Devanza Wall of Honor Award, established in 2015, is presented annually to a member of the Mineola community who has dedicated themselves to helping make the village of Mineola a better place, to someone who has steadfastly given of themselves for the betterment of the village. That's actually how the description is written. Now, I readily admit that I am not a person that knows every great person in this village. I did not grow up here or go to school here. It would be unfair of me to make any broad assertions of all-encompassing determinations, so I won't. That said, I will say in the last 16 years that I have become very active in this village. It is always a really awesome, really incredible feeling knowing Auxiliary Chief Mike Spey is on the watch. Aside from Can I call you Mike instead of Chief? Aside from Mike being 6'3", not an ounce of fat on him, and frankly just a very imposing figure, you know when Mike is around, this village and everyone in this village is in safe hands. And Mike has been doing it for 49 years. Mike joined the Mineola Auxiliary Police Department in 1976. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Volunteering, let me say that again, volunteering to keep our events safe and organized and dealing with who knows what from who knows who, solely because he wanted to do his part for this community. Mike has been the chief since 1986, almost 40 years. Mike is the longest-serving chief in the history of the MAPD. You know, I try to never say the words the best or the most at anything, because you never really know. So I will stick to that plan here. I have no idea who is the best or most deserving of anything, but I am certain that Mike Spey is as deserving as anyone possibly could be. For his 49 years, countless hours and days, and sacrificed weekends, serving this village and all of its residents, and doing it with a strangely intimidating, quiet demeanor that just makes us all feel safe. Now to talk more about the award and our recipient, our mayor, Paul Pereira.
Thank you, Ross. Before I say a few words, I'd like to just all recognize that I have with me here today our village board, Deputy Mayor Janine Sartori, trustees Paul Casado and Donna Solosky. We also have our village justice is here, Scott Fairgrieve, former village trustee Linda Fairgrieve, obviously members of the chamber. We have the Grand Knight of the Knights of Columbus right here, and we also have our clerk and our deputy clerk, so I apologize. And we have with us here the former mayor of East Williston as well, so welcome to you all. Usually this part is a part that State Senator Jack Martins would have the responsibility. Unfortunately, he has a meeting this evening he could not get out of, so it's my pleasure to talk a little bit about the award and the namesake of the award, and that is John DeVanzo. And of course, I could not go on without thanking Mary DeVanzo, who is here with us and is always with us whenever we are doing something, whether it's a pool opening or this event. She doesn't miss it because she feels that connection to this village, obviously to her father, and we're glad that through her we have this connection to this family that has done so much to this village. So I, I had the privilege of knowing John directly, Mr. DeVanzo, Mr. Mineola. Of course, growing up in Mineola, he was something of an idol. You know, he was John DeVanzo. I know it's two words, but it's almost like Pele or Madonna or Prince. It was just, you just knew exactly who you were talking about. And then when I first ran in 2008, or when I was first asked to run in 2008, I had to make the obligatory visit to Mr. DeVanzo's apartment in Birchwood Court, Building 3, I believe, right, Mary? On the second floor, at the end of the hall, on the left. First floor, E, L. And I remember sitting at his table, and he's got every decoration, every award you can think of, but I had to get the blessing from John DeVanzo before, you know, when Jack Martins had asked me to run, that is something that I had to do. So Tom Kennedy and I had to go on a Saturday to meet Mr. DeVanzo. Well, the first thing you would notice about Mr. DeVanzo is never a hair out of place, always well-dressed, and then his handshake, right? I think I'm still recovering. I think I have carpal tunnel in my right hand from John DeVanzo's handshake. And that was the beginning of this personal relationship that we developed that only got stronger when I was elected, and Mr. DeVanzo volunteered right here out in front. We put out a desk for him, and he would guide everyone, building department, parking tickets, et cetera. It kind of took the edge off a little bit, because usually people walk into this building, they're pretty mad because they're usually paying a parking ticket, or they have to pay for a permit, or you know, something happened that they are not too happy about. But then you see Mr. DeVanzo, he's all smiles, he kind of takes you down a notch. So to say that Mr. DeVanzo is an institution would be an understatement. To say that his legacy lives on is an understatement. And so I think that it's wholly appropriate that in 2014, when Tony Labrano approached then Mayor Scott Strauss about this idea of a wall of honor, that it was a resounding yes from the board, from Mayor Strauss, from myself and the other members. So we want to thank Tony and the board of the chamber at that time really for having this idea. And in case you haven't heard, maybe some of you have heard, but Mayor Strauss certainly remembers, it wasn't well received by all, because if you remember, on that wall we had a huge plaque that talked about the inauguration of this building as Village Hall, and a certain superintendent of the Department of Public Works wasn't too happy about taking it down and having to, you know, spackle the wall and redo it over. And Mayor Strauss at the time said, yeah, well, I don't care. You're going to do it. We're going to do it. And I remember like it was yesterday, the first one, the one in 2014 or 15, which was for Lou Sanders, and it was in this room. And it's hard to believe that it's, you know, 10 years later, but as Ross said, every single one of them is deserving. And of course, taking Ross's words, I don't want to measure the levels of, you know, how much someone deserves or doesn't, but certainly I think we'll all agree that Chief Michael Spey absolutely deserves this and so much more. So I know that John Devanzo would be proud. I know that he would second this motion of having Chief Spay on this wall. So I know that the legacy that Mr. Devanzo has established in this community for public service and really throughout this county is similar to the legacy that Chief Spay has established with the Mineola Auxiliary Police Department. When I see the faces of his officers, and they've been with us for years and years and years, volunteers, true volunteers, okay? No LoSAP, no pension. I mean, we did get them a quasi-new-to-them cars recently, but other than that, very few perks to the job. And when I see them out in the middle of the day patrolling our streets on their time, really being the eyes and ears of our village, you know, what else can you say? And I know that many of them do it because of this gentleman, because they want to work with him, they want to work for him, they want to be led by him. So it is my distinct pleasure to now welcome the person who nominated, although I think all of us would have nominated you, the person who nominated Chief Spay for this recognition, Nassau County Legislator, former Mayor, former Chief of the Mineola Fire Department, Scott Strauss.
Ross, you got a lot of words there. Paul, Mayor, a lot of words there. I have nothing else to say. Seriously, Mike, they talked about your length of service, which is phenomenal in itself. Joined in '76, became the chief, and you've been chief since '86. You've molded the auxiliary police into what the great organization that it is today. And you guys have, God forbid he ever steps down, whoever takes over has got tremendous shoes to fill. But what nobody touched on is you as a person. You're a friend. You've been a friend of mine since you probably chased me in the park years ago. Certainly, when I became a chief, assistant chief in the fire department, I worked very closely with you on the parades, the events and things. And when I became mayor, you were just one of those people that are an integral part of the village as an organization. It wasn't just patrolling the streets. It was more than that. It was getting your team together to keep us safe at the parades, at the events, at the concerts, at the carnivals. Everything that happens in this village has the auxiliary police's footprint and handprint on it, and that's because of Chief Spay. When I became mayor, it became even more than that. He was included on our storm calls anytime we had whether it was a hurricane coming up the coast or it was a snowstorm, a blizzard that we were getting. Chief Spay was part of the team. He was with us with the Department of Public Works team. He was with us with the Board of Trustees on multiple phone calls, with the building department, with every part of this village, including the fire department, including the ambulance corps, because without the auxiliary police, we would be lacking in some aspect. And every time I give Mike Spay a call, he'd answer the phone with, "Hello, Mayor." And regardless of what it was a problem. He knew the problem because we have a storm coming up or what have you. No problem, Mayor. Took care of it. He takes care of everything. As most recently, and now when I call him, it's "Hello, Legislator." But, when I call him as most recently as the car parade that we had with Sergeant Catalano with his 105th birthday, Chief Spay handled his 100th birthday. And with the 105th birthday, I didn't have to take care of anything on that respect, and neither did the mayor. We knew that Chief Spay would coordinate with the police department and work out the traffic logistics and work out the disbursement area onto Herrick's Road with the police department. On the street fairs, he would reroute the buses with the police department. He and his team are just absolutely phenomenal. So guys, you get to share in this award with him as well. Mike, I can't say enough about you. You are a tremendous asset to this village. You are a tremendous friend. Calm, cool, collected each and every time. You certainly earned this award. Congratulations, Mike.
And now I would invite all of us to squeeze into the lobby, and we're going to unveil the plaque for Chief Spay. So if we could just get around the Wall of Honor. And just a reminder that dinner follows at Lisbon Cafe, correct? At Lisbon Cafe. So those of you who are joining us for dinner, just walk right down the street. So I'll meet you right outside. Wait, come back, because I'm sorry. Linda just pointed out, that's not recorded out there. This is recorded, so we'd like to have Chief Spay to come up and say a few words, okay? Yes, this way it's here for posterity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a sincere honor this is, and gee, the words that you spoke, the words that Ross spoke, and Scott, incredible, absolutely incredible. There's a future for you in the theater with those impersonations. Very, very good. Very good. But honestly, I very much appreciate you all being here this evening. I could tell you 50 years of story, but I know the agenda is short, so maybe I'll say that later on for dinner. But again, many, many thanks for all of your kind words. I appreciate it.
And I was going to do this outside, but as we do with everyone who goes on the wall, the village would like to recognize them with a small token from the village. Obviously, the plaque stays up there, so I'd like to present Chief Spay with a medal that has the insignia of the village on one side and the facade of Village Hall on the other side, and we hope that you cherish this and treasure this, because this is from a grateful village. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. And I hear that Regis will do the roasting at dinner, so we'll wait. So now we can go outside. Thank you, Chief. Congratulations. Thank you.